All right, welcome back to video number 2 for this Thursday morning. This is where we're going to talk about everything that happened at Invictus. God. All right. There's a lot to cover, so let's just jump in and get there. It's going to be a little jumbled, but stick with me, okay? Because there's just so much. Let's go. All right, to start off with, we saw how they tried the whole lovey-dovey thing, trying to make everybody believe they were so in love. But every now and then there was a mask slip, like right here. I'm sorry, just look at Harry's face. He looks miserable. He really does. And next up, I noticed that Meghan wasn't wearing her pinky diamond. I'm not sure why, but I did notice that she was wearing a pinky signet ring, okay? And then you zoomed in a little bit, mainstream media picked this up, and it's the royal crest on her finger. Why am I not surprised? Next up, for those of you who didn't know it, I was on Popcorn Palace the other day, and we were discussing the fact that what the hell are they talking to Archie about? That a 5-year-old goes, we know that he's here because people were blown up. Somebody sent this to me from the comment section from that video saying my parents took me to The Exorcist when I was 5 because they thought it would be an introduction to religion. Now, the video interviews didn't stop there. Another one came out. Let's take a look at that, shall we? So this is the same guy from last time, and he goes, why do you love Canada so much? Why do the both of you love Canada so much? And we're surrounded by Canadian fams, And Harry goes, well, Canada's been really, really good to my wife and me all these years. They've been really good to us. And certainly in 2020, it was amazing for us to be able to be in Canada, Vancouver Island, with Archie and be able to go for hikes and be amongst the locals, the local town, and feel protected. And we were there for more than 6 weeks before anybody found out. We were bumping into people the whole time. Nobody told anybody. I guess they told people, but yeah, there's not too much media or a pop-like culture on Vancouver Island, which was quite a sense of respect. And also the reason we went to Vancouver Island was because there was no one running around chasing people with cameras there. So we did it. It was a bit of a refuge, Canada's always been very special. Seems to me that Harry seems to have a very short memory because wasn't it the paparazzi that were supposedly hiding in the bushes and taking this video without Meghan's knowledge, even though the pictures clearly show that she's looking right at the camera smiling because, of course, we know she probably is the one who called them. Yeah, moving on. So now it's time for the welcome party in Whistler. And of course, Harry's drinking alcohol and so is Meghan. They were seen drinking from some keg. This is at a luxury ski resort. The events were being held at a luxury ski resort. And they're sitting there with Michael Bublé and his wife. And she's doing her fake over-emoting laugh. And then, it's just like, my God, how do they stand her? Now, it was, as you can see, they're right next to a heater. It was very cold, and prior to opening the games in the ski resort, they were in a restaurant trying to keep warm while everybody else was outside freezing. Now, some other information came out that I found interesting. This particular person on Twitter found these pictures you're about to see. In 2014, they had the backing of the royal family. Harry was a partner, not a founder. And in 2025, there was questionable funding, overspending on celebrity appearances, and of course, everything else that goes with Harry and Meghan. Look at the difference in the crowds. So, of course, Harry gets on the stage after Michael Bublé. Like Michael Bublé gets up there and starts singing, da-na-na-na, you know how I feel, whatever. And then he introduces Harry, who then comes onto the stage. And Harry shows up and thanks everybody for their support. And, who here's a ginger? Who else is a ginger? I'm like, oh my God. So then Harry goes, I want my wife to come out here. And he pulls Meghan out onto the stage and then goes, oh, and she's going to sing now. And Meghan's like, what? And she turns and runs off the stage, literally. And again, this is all part of the We're So Happy Lovey-Dovey show. Now, there's a few things also that happened. Meghan was wearing a 1,000-pound coat. We're going to talk about the clothing in just a few minutes because that's a whole nother thing. It was -11 Celsius there. For those of you who don't know, that's just like a smidge over 12 degrees. So you would have to have a jacket, boots, hat, sweaters, and, the whole thing. So anyway, we've already talked multiple times that there's lots of videos. I'm not putting them all up here, but there's lots of videos of events going on, and Meghan is in the videos, and she's in these videos that are going up on her Instagram account because she is not in charge of her Instagram. She has somebody else doing whatever. There's a lot of staged stuff. For instance, Meghan knelt down to talk to these two boys that supposedly she recognized from Germany. I don't believe that for a second. Now, I also know that they watch Skeleton, which is it's like luge. The competitor gets on a small sled lying face down and goes down the track. So these two were seen headed to several different events to go watch and supposedly cheer on other people. Now, before we continue on, I want to tell you what she was wearing, then we'll go back to it. So let's take a look now at all the expensive clothing that she wore. We know that on the first night of festivities, she wore that chocolate brown mini dress. That was $800. We don't know how much the shoes were, but of course she's wearing all of her jewelry. The second day, the white pants, $995, her shoes, $575, and of course an ivory cashmere sleeveless turtleneck that was at least $400. Then of course we have this rain jacket that was $2,290, and her shoes were $750, and we really don't even know what else she was wearing underneath that. Then her fourth outfit change for the day, she went to the Toronto Maple Leaf, game, the ice hockey game. She was wearing a Givenchy jacket and a black Valentino turtleneck and black Valentino ankle boots. Day 2, she had the navy sweater, $325, skinny flared jeans, $298, and the jacket that copied Diana was available for $600. Later on in the day, she switched to this puffer jacket, $3,000. Later on in the day, we had a different green sweater and a calf-length skirt, both in green, and her Ralph Lauren heels. And of course, unfortunately, we don't have the price of those outfits. On the 10th, she was seen at a Friends and Family Indigenous Craft and Museum tour. We have no idea how much this outfit cost. Also on another day, she was in a gray jacket with something green on underneath. I don't remember seeing these, and we don't know how much this particular outfit cost. Now on the 10th, when they were at the outdoor events, Meghan was wearing this white puffer jacket with the black hat and, all the things underneath. So here are the prices of the jacket, the boots, the hat, and the gloves. And once again, Harry was wearing Invictus gear, and Meghan did not wear one stitch of Invictus gear. Absolutely nothing. And finally, on the 11th, she was wearing a different puffer jacket for $375, a different beanie for $275, but the same sleeveless turtleneck she had worn earlier in the week and the same beige boots that she liked. Now, I need to put this in there. People are saying that, Harry's swipe at Donald Trump was so stupid. When he's talking about weak moral character in front of an audience of 40,000 at the opening of the games. Why would he choose the moment he was opening the games in Canada to hit back when he should have been focusing on the veterans? He was there to celebrate sporting heroes who'd suffered debilitating injuries, not broadcast his petty vendettas to the world. Apparently, insiders at the games were really upset and angry and complained that Harry and Meghan continually insert themselves into the spotlight at the games. But is that really a surprise? This is the kind of behavior we've come to expect from them. And to be fair, it's, pretty much been shown that he's the one with the weak moral character. I mean, who abandoned the royal family? Who betrayed his grandparents, his brother, his sister-in-law, his father, his stepmother? Who's been attacking them every time they turn around? I am pretty sure Harry thinks that it took a lot of moral character to run off and sign an $80 million deal with Netflix. But the truth is, from the minute the two of them met, it was very clear that they had decided to go. And this constant fawning that Meghan does over Harry is just nauseating. She keeps sticking her nose into Harry's work. She's determined that she and their love affair are going to take center stage. Whatever we think about the heroic men and women at this event, that's really just not what they're celebrating. It's all about her and their love story. Believe it or not, a senior Invictus Games volunteer actually told the Mail that Harry's speech was a woke distraction that is not welcome. Now, in the meantime, Meghan Markle just decided she was going to fly home without Harry, which means that the private jet that they were on after taking her home has to turn around and go all the way back to get Harry. So much for the, going on about the environment. But the truth of the matter is you really don't hear about the environment from them anymore. Now, there was some talk about why she might have gone home early. This showed up on Twitter. I'd like to give credit to whoever it was, but I don't know who it was. But makes you wonder why she might have left. Now, I need to point out also, there were lots of people, even though it was in the paper that said they were going on a private jet. They don't even try to hide it anymore. People said, no, that's not true. Well, there you go. Meghan is getting off a private jet, which took her from Canada back to California. FYI, the only two people that were on this huge ass plane was Meghan and one security guard. Those are the only two people who got off of this plane. Could you imagine? Now, they're claiming that plans weren't given in advance for security reasons and that this was always planned. Meghan was going home to be with the children, that she left Dusseldorf early, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. They're having Valentine's Day apart. I think they had enough of each other that 5 days together was all that they could stomach. I do want to let you know, it's being reported that now that Meghan is gone, Harry, they're saying, is going to be enjoying the resort at his own pace. He's an avid skier. He's going to want to go skiing, even though it's being said that in the Spare, he reported that he felt guilty going skiing with Charles because, after all, Princess Diana didn't like the ski trip. So you could have fooled me. She looked pretty happy on the slopes to me. Again, constant taping and other things going on. But yeah, this private jet now is going to have to turn around and go back to get Harry. They don't even make the pretense of caring about the environment anymore. Now, I think Harry and Meghan can't stand each other. I mean, I look at this video and I literally in my head can see Harry, leaning over going, Meghan, I want you to cut the crap because this is just ridiculous and you're taking over. I want you to stop. You know what I mean? There was all kinds of weird things. Some woman tried to talk French to Meghan. She absolutely wouldn't even try, even though she claims that she took French for 6 or 7 years. She interjected herself into a lot of photos. She would take the picture and then Harry would step up and join in the photos. And there was a lot of photoshopping going on, which is what usually happens. So here's Meghan with the Photoshop, and here you go. Looking good. They've cleaned her up a little. Here she is without the Photoshop. Wow, let me tell you. Now, in the meantime, something else happened, which was just a little shocking for me. So this woman is in the crowd. She has a jar of Vegemite, something like that. It's an Australian thing. That's my understanding. It's also my understanding that it's kind of disgusting. But okay, I've never tried it. So she goes to Harry. It's for Harry. Okay, she gives it to Harry. Harry's hugging her. They're having a talk about it. So, of course, Meghan sees that. She can't let Harry have a moment by himself. So Meghan comes walking up and tries to join in the conversation. And the first thing she does is reach out and try to take the thing from Harry. She's like, what is that? And she tries to grab it. And you can just see the look on Harry's face. I'm sorry. And then, of course, Meghan's like, okay, I'm done with this. And she turns and walks off. And let's look at that a little bit slower. She walks up, puts her phone in her pocket, grabs the jar, looks at it. And I want you to look at Harry's face. He's like, really? He's not smiling at her. I'm glad that she was able to get the gift to Harry. Now, of course, before she left, Meghan had to try tubing. And of course, they made a big deal out of it. She was squealing and, oh my God, I'm going to go tubing. What am I going to do? Like, you think she never went tubing. They basically just shoved her down the hill. I bet Harry would have liked to have been the one to shove her down that hill. And of course, Harry couldn't shove her because he was busy racing. Are you ready? He was racing a 10-year-old on another track. And there's a picture of him like all smiles and happy because he beat this 10-year-old. It's like, really? He's 10. Anyway, Meghan finally left. And of course, as soon as she left, Harry's became the center of attention. Here he is giving another interview. The guy that's taping is walking backwards. Unbelievable. And I'm going to end this with the video that Michael Bublé put up showing the day, because there were a few things that I thought were very interesting. First of all, he did not ride in the car with Meghan and Harry, and yet there's a picture of them, what appears to be them holding hands, because his wife wasn't in a white jacket and Meghan was in a white jacket. He's walking through Whistler. He's not having any problems. People are walking right up to him. He's being congenial. He's talking. He's taking selfies. Then it shows him meeting Harry and Meghan. You know, of course, she gives him a hug. I don't think he likes her. That's just my opinion. Then he goes out and he goes, I bet you guys thought I was going to sing. He goes, but I will. And then he stands there and he starts singing to the crowd. And then he introduces Harry, who makes a bunch of jokes. We already know he pulls Meghan out onto the stage. But the interesting thing that got me about this entire video is at the very end, it shows two planes flying overhead. So I want to know who paid for all of that. Because did the taxpayers, did that come out of Invictus funds? By the way, Meghan put a post up to let everybody know that she made it home with lots of goodies for the kids. All right, now a quick notification for you. In case you haven't heard or you didn't see my live the other day, I'm rebranding my other channel. It's going to be The Secret Life of Sue. My recipes are going to go there. My pictures of Finn and Toodles are going to go there. All going to be there, okay? So that's where you'll go. The link is down in the description box, so just click it and follow me over there, or else you're going to miss a lot of stuff. Now, don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell for all notifications. Then go down into the description box where you'll find the link to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my Amazon wish list, my link to my second channel, and my physical address. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.